Hi, welcome to Amy Toft Yoga. New mat for Christmas. Never had a white mat before. We'll see how that holds up. So welcome, thanks for being here. Let's begin. Sitting, breathing into our diaphragm. First we'll inhale east and west, and then exhale back together. To the sides, and exhale it back. You can open your mouth when you exhale if you want to. You're in your own home. And now let's inhale east and west into the sides of the diaphragm and also south. And then we'll exhale that all closed. So inhaling to the sides and to the bottom of the diaphragm. Exhaling, bring that back together. One more time. And let's do it again. We'll inhale into the sides and the bottom and the top or the north of the diaphragm. So east and west, south and north, all on the inhale, everything back together on the exhale. And just continue like that, breathing into your whole diaphragm. As the new year comes, many of us, especially me, has a huge list of things that we could improve or be better in our life. Not necessarily resolutions, but kind of. I want to do this, I'm going to do this. Oh, this year I'm going to just do it all. And that's great, that's fine. Sometimes it can get really discouraging. Sometimes if you miss one day, then you're like, oh well, I guess I'll just eat too much and start again next year. But in the book, Choose Joy, maybe it's called Choosing Joy, by His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Reverend Desmond Tutu, they say every day is a chance to start over. Every day is your birthday or the new year. So just because something doesn't happen one day or something happens too much one day, the next day, brand new chance. So no need to wait for a big milestone like New Year's. Every day, new chance. I love that. Let's take a big breath together into our whole diaphragm and then open the mouth, sigh it out. Let's do it again. And one more time. So remember, everything in yoga is optional. If you would like to sit on your mat and breathe, you're still doing yoga, and that's all good. If you would like to move a little moving, just come on to hands and knees. Let's prime our toes and our hands. Tuck the toes under, press a little bit back, just so you can kind of wake up the feet. And then put the tops of the feet down, press them down, tuck them, press back, and put the tops of the feet down. And then make sure your hands are right under your shoulders. Spread the fingers wide like a starfish and just pick up the heels of each hand. Just pick up the bottoms one at a time, waking up our hands. And then a little cat and cow. So tip your tailbone up, look slightly forward, just kind of down at the floor in front of your mat. And then tuck your tailbone down, look down at your belly button, bring the belly button to the spine. Inhale, tailbone up. Exhale, tailbone down. One more time. Tuck your toes, hover your knees, hips high, downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide. Pretend that you're twisting your hands apart and see how that rotates your biceps together. And the same with your feet. Pretend you're twisting those apart. Then let's just walk our hands back to the feet. Forearms up onto the edges of the knees. Press the palms together. Again, energetically press your feet apart toward the pinky toe. Hands on the hips. Straighten your legs. Stand up. I'm going to take this silly top off. It's totally in my face. Let's walk up to the front of the mat. Really noticing all the bones in our feet. Do you know there are 33 joints in your feet and 26 in each foot, 26 bones in each foot. So heel, ball of the foot, toe, heel, ball, toe, heel, ball of the foot, toe. Feel how you're pressing off with that back foot. Did you know that 33% of our acceleration comes from our big toe? There's all the foot fun facts I know. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinging at the hips like you're looking over a cliff. Stretch forward, the weight's in the balls of the feet, and your hips, your bum is right over your heels. Let your head hang on down. Press into the shins, look forward, half lift. Forward fold, hands down. Step back with the left foot and then the right. Come into plank. Spread your hands wide. You can always come on your knees here if that's better for you. Just take a breath. Then we'll flow down dog. Really slowly pressing back, pressing into the knuckles, pressing into the fingertips, and then really slowly forward plank. Be strong. Let's do it again. So slow. Stretch back, down dog. Twist your feet apart. Not really, they're not moving, it just feels like that. Last time, plank. Downward facing dog. And then step forward with the left. Gosh, the white mat really shows the dirt. Then the right. Let your head hang on down. Half lift, shoulder blades together, forward fold, and hinge all the way up. If you want a little back bend here, great, squeeze your glutes. And Tadasana. Let's talk about Tadasana just for a minute. So your feet could be hip width apart or your toes could touch. Hip width apart is really just about 2 fists. Shoulders up, back, and down. Your feet as if you're pressing them apart. Your tailbone is not tucked. It's just normal. The back of your spine is just normal. And then bend your arms, hold behind your head, Just interlace your fingers. Press your head back into your hands. Now, ears, shoulders, hips, heels, all in one line. Feel how that feels. This is where our head should be all the time. Perfect balance. We can move sideways and forward and back. We're still in balance. So that's mountain pose, Tadasana. Ta-da! Let's get back in Tadasana. Inhale, arms up. Little back bend if you like. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down, step back with the right, step back with the left. Come into plank. So this time, if you want to lower all the way down, you can. I'm going to do a tiny little push-up and then flip over my feet for upward facing dog. Then I'll tuck my toes, hips high, downward facing dog. We'll breathe 5 breaths here. Settle in, press into your knuckles. If you feel the need of a little moving, that's okay. Look forward, step forward, left, right. Half lift, forward fold, rise on up. Back to mountain Tadasana. Where's your head? Is it just right over your shoulders with where your ears lined up? Nice. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down, step back with the left, step back with the right. Shift forward, lower all the way down, or drop your knees. I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. Just bend your elbows and lower on down. And then tiny baby cobra here, or upward facing dog. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up high. Step it forward by your left hand. It could be outside your left hand or just next to it. Pivot your back heel down and rise up, keeping the front knee bent. Hips facing your front toe. Arms up, warrior one. Settle your shoulders. Press into the outside of your back foot. Now just shift the weight forward. Arms can come forward or hands can be on your hips. We'll see how this goes. Into balancing stick. If you have blocks, this is a great time to use your blocks. Hips should be level. Maybe stay here with your hands on the blocks. Maybe let your arms fly behind you. Maybe arms out in front. And then let your back foot come back down. Come on back up, warrior one. And then standing splits. So if you have your blocks, that's great, they're in the right spot. If you don't, you can just put your hands on the ground. Shift forward. So this standing splits is going to be a lot like what we just did. Keep the hips level, press your back toe down, and look down. Let the back foot come down. This time the toes pointed more forward. And we'll just shift back into pyramid Parsvottanasana. So if you want to use your blocks, you can. Bring them on either side of your foot. Just let your head sink down. If you would like to put your hands on the floor, that's okay too. Chest and ribs coming down to the thigh. Not really worried about your knee touching your nose. Your front knee a little bit soft so we don't hyperextend. And then if your blocks are in your way, just move them. Both hands down, step back, come into plank. Take a vinyasa here if you like. Upward dog, or we'll all just meet in down dog. Lift the right leg. Step it forward by the right hand. Back foot pivots. Rise up, warrior one. Sinking down. And then just like the other side, shift your weight. Maybe you can just hop your foot forward and have your hands up. Maybe it's nice to have some blocks. Leg up, head down, or kind of even. Even is what we're going for. And set your back foot back down. Warrior one. Hands back down onto the blocks or on the ground, standing split, but with our leg parallel to the mat. Point the back toe down, that helps keep our hips level. Set the back foot down, toes pointing forward now, preparing for pyramid Parsvottanasana. Look forward and then just let your ribs come down onto your thigh. Sink your head. Hands can stay on the blocks or hands can come on the ground. And then look forward. Move your blocks out of the way. Both hands down. Step back. Come into plank. Lower down if you want to. And we'll all meet in down dog. Three breaths here. Look forward, step forward with the left, then the right. Or if you're a hopper, you can always hop. Forward fold, half lift, forward fold, come all the way up. Something fun, so that was our closed hip flow, and we'll do an open hip one too, but a little fun thing in between is standing cat and cow. So shift your weight into your left foot, spread the toes, pick up the right knee. Oh dear. Then, like we did on our knees, cat, so we'll bring our belly button into our spine and kind of round in, and then cow, open up. Cat, round in, take your time, don't have to match me. Open up. Let's do one more. So I'm staring at the floor, that's my drishti, something that's not moving. And I'll put this foot down. Need to move. Shift the weight into the right foot, spread the toes. Pick up the left knee. Get your balance. And I think it's easiest to start with cat. So curling in and then lifting out. And keep your standing knees slightly soft, if that helps. Curling down. Lifting out, getting so big, take up space. Every day a chance to start again. Curling down. Out. Set your foot down. Nice. Back to mountain at the top of the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Hands down to the mat. Step back with the right. Step back with the left. Come forward, lower down if you like. We'll all meet in down dog. Lift the right foot. And step it forward. Back foot pivots, and this time come up to warrior two. Shoulders right over the hips. Straighten the front leg. Shift forward. Pivot down. Maybe do a floating triangle today, not touching anything. It's kind of fun. Back to warrior two. And this is when I should have had a block ready. Bring a block over here by your front foot. Shift the weight forward. Pick up your back leg. And half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. And then we're just going to set our foot forward and come all the way up. Get ready for the other side. So, inhale. Exhale. Hands down. Step back with the right. That leaves the left foot forward. So we'll just have the block here. Come on up, warrior two on this side. Take a breath. Straighten the front leg. Shift forward. Open up. Maybe floating triangle on this side. Maybe use your block. Then get your block by your foot. Shift the weight forward. Hand can come on the hip as your leg comes up. Foot's flexed, arm can come straight up, or it can stay on the hip. And half moon on this side. You can float your hand if you like. And then just bring your foot down. Look forward. Forward fold. Round all the way up. Arms up. Tadasana. So put your hands on your hips. Big step to the right. So your toes are facing the long edge of the mat. Inhale. Exhale, hinging at the hips. Forward fold. Let your hands slide down. You can hold behind your heels. Pull your head down. Weight in the balls of the feet. And then let your hands come down. Walk your hands over to the right. Bend the knee. And we'll just breathe here. Walk your hands around. Pick up your front foot and let it come to the front. Let your back foot come around so much. So now, okay, my toes facing the other side of the mat, and I'm up on my back heel, and I can lift up my arm for a variation of side plank, just for a breath. Come on back down. Sometimes I have to put my knee down to switch around. Walk your hands back. Here we are in the middle, both toes pointing toward the long edge of the mat. Head hanging down. Look forward. Walk your hands. So now this toe's pointing forward, and it's going to point over here to the side. Okay, this coming up on the back of this foot, sometimes I have to put my knee down. Side plank here. Hands down. Walk back around, back to where we started. Let your head hang. Bring your hands back. Toe heel your feet closer together. And we'll sink down into Malasana Yogi Squat. So depending on your knees, your bum might need to be up in the air. Maybe you can put your hands down. Maybe you can sink your bum and put your elbows out into your knees. Just take a breath or two here. Press your hands down. If you'd like to hop into crow here, now's your chance. Today, I'm just going to press my knees against my elbows. And then maybe you can just let your bum come down, but I need to stand up and then get down. But however you do it, we'll come down to a seat. Let your feet come straight out in front of you, feet flexed. Take one hand, press it down into the mat, other arm up, and just bend to the side. Maybe look up under your arm. This elbow can come clear down. In fact, you can even come clear down to your forearm if you like. Use this strong arm and your good core to pull yourself up and over this way. Come down to your forearm if you like it. And use your strong arm. Come on back up. Hands down to the side. Lift yourself up tall. Coming onto hands and knees. We're going to swim dolphin or hold dolphin. So dolphin is just like downward facing dog, except you're on your forearms, holding your hands. Tuck the toes, hips up. Maybe walk your feet a little closer, maybe don't. And then you can hold this right here, and that's great. Thinking about your elbows kind of pulling together. Or you can bring your head out in front of your hands and then push back. This is really good for the obliques and the shoulders. Swim in your dolphin. Use your strong core to help you. Let's do one more. And then just hold dolphin. Let your knees come down. Let them spread out to the sides of the mat. And sink your forehead down. Child's pose, Balasana. Come on back up. Elbow your way up till you're on your belly. Press the tops of your feet down, hands down, shoulders over the elbows. Press your palms down, press the tops of your feet down. Make your neck as long as Cleopatra because this is Sphinx pose. Press into the tops of your feet. Don't let your head sink down. You're not really looking up, just out in front. Then let everything relax. Look down at your mat. And we're just going to flip over like a pancake. Onto the back. Knees bent. Arms can be out to the side like a cactus, or they can be down on the mat. Your choice. Walk your feet maybe a little bit closer to your hips. Inhale, and as you exhale, press your feet apart like we did at the beginning, and let your hips rise up. So the back of the body is strong, it's holding you. The front of the body is soft. The ribs are not shoving up in the air, they're just soft. Bridge pose, opening the heart, opening the throat. And pick up your heels. One vertebrae at a time. Let your backbone come back down to the mat. Heels come down. Hands go straight up. Just plug your shoulders into the sockets. Feel like you're pressing your palms together, but you're holding a block in between and you can't get them any closer. And your arms come down to the mat. Just like we did before, cat and cow, we're going to press our sacrum, the 5 bones at the base of our spine, into the mat. And then we'll release that, letting the natural curve of the spine come back. So sacrum down, and then relax. One more time. Bring your arms out to a T. Your knees up. And then slowly, slowly let your knees come to the left or the right. It doesn't matter. Just whichever way. Pressing down your opposite shoulder. And then eventually your head will look the way that your knees are not. Enjoying this spinal twist. Not just good for the spine, but for the whole digestion. Engage the core. Think of think of both your legs as one, as if you're a mermaid, and bring them up together. Take a breath. And as you exhale, let them go, also together, to the other side. Pressing down your opposite shoulder, letting your head look that way. So your knees do not have to be touching, and they don't even have to be on the ground. So again, picture yourself as a mermaid. Your legs move as one and bring them back together. And straight up. Softly flex your feet, soft. Doesn't have to be a big squeeze. And then you can massage the bones of your face, around the eyes, cheekbones, sinuses. If it doesn't feel good to have your feet up in the air, just put them down. maybe even going around the ears. Then press your hands together like a prayer pose and press your thumbs right between your third eye, or between your eyebrows and at the top of your nose. Just press there. And then release the hands. Let your arms just come out any way you like. Let your feet come down 1 foot at a time. Prepare for Shavasana. So, arms come out, tuck your shoulder blades, legs drift out, opposite corners of the mat. Let your feet drift apart. Or maybe you prefer having your knees bent, that's okay. Or even being on one side, that's also okay. Let's take a giant breath into our diaphragm. East and west, south and north. And let that go with our mouth open. One more time. Then settle in. If you feel like putting on an extra layer, go ahead. Thoughts will come into your mind and you'll say, uh-huh, and let them go. Don't try to stop them, just let them come in. Tell them, uh-huh, and let them go. Shavasana, we're soaking up the things that we did with our bodies and our minds. We're remembering every day is a new day to start over. Shavasana. Om Gam Gamapataye Namaha. Om Gam Gamapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Gamapataye Namaha. Beginning to deepen your breath, breathing into the whole diaphragm again, just by noticing that. Any little wiggles with the fingers and toes that might feel good. Maybe circle your wrists and ankles. Head from side to side. Maybe a full body stretch. And then come onto one side. Your eyes could still be closed here, and just take a few breaths. Every day is a chance to start over. Every day is your birthday. So true. Slowly make your way to a comfortable seat. Let your hands come to your heart. Bow your head. A few breaths of gratitude for our amazing bodies. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.